Hey, everybody. Welcome to our Look Ahead Fridays with Mr. Sean Salisbury here. Sean joins us here to talk about the Dallas Mavericks. He lives in the state of Texas. We also both had a winning pick Thursday night going against the Dallas Mavericks on the road. And Sean, there was no surprise of what happened with him getting waxed by 14 at Philadelphia. It wasn't even a game. Doncic had 19. Richardson had 13. Matter of fact, Dallas had two starters with double digits in that game, Sean.
Not going to win on the road against the Sixer teams who playing well, and they're deep, they're well coached, and we both looked at this and figured this was going to happen, right? And I don't even think we got the best of the 76ers, but I did like the way they played on the defensive end as well. To me, this was an easy pick for you and I in the game on Thursday night, and we'll see if this holds true against the Brooklyn Nets. But, yeah, I liked it, and Embiid obviously continues to post numbers that tell you he's one of the best big men in the league right now and playing really well, especially with the Lakers on the Western Conference struggling at the big man position with no Anthony Davis in the lineup.
Well, what you've seen in Brooklyn, even without, you just imagine if they had Durant playing and Dinwiddie playing. But everybody forgets about that Dinwiddie injury that took him out for the year. That guy was a freaking stud. So Brooklyn could really come this time next year. They keep all the contracts in place. They're going to be one of the most unbeatable teams in the NBA. But where are they at right here, right now? And I think what Steve Nash has done there in Brooklyn, Sean, over the last 3 weeks has been nothing short of phenomenal. And I'll tell you why. Because he got this team to play defense where they weren't playing defense before that. They were getting beat. They got beat by Cleveland, for crying out loud, at one point with this star power they have, but they're playing defense. They're scoring on their 8-0 run that they're on right now. They're putting up 121 a game and only allowing 108. That's impressive. And you have star power with Irving. And it seems to me, Sean, that the chemistry developed between Irving and Harden on the floor and the way they're distributing the basketball. And we don't even have Durant in there yet. But the way they're distributing and sharing the ball, to me, is extremely impressive. And again, tip of the hat to Steve Nash. It's very difficult, as you know, Sean, to coach a bunch of superstars all on the same team and get everybody on the same page. And you know, the old Hoosiers or whatever movie that was, there's no I in team. You know, and he's got that philosophy going with Brooklyn right now. And Dallas, on the other hand, without Porzingis in this game, and he will not play, I think Brooklyn's going to own the paint. I think Brooklyn's going to own the outside. I think Brooklyn can match up well defensively here. I just think that Dallas, as we talked about Thursday, they're not a good road team. They're not a good road team. They're teams above 500, they are now 1-8 against the spread. Dallas, again, as we mentioned yesterday, Sean, they play, and you brought it up, they beat up weak sisters. They can't beat a good team. And I thought defensively, if you want to know how to beat them, take a playbook out of Philadelphia's game film last night. Match up on them, give them problems, attack them in the paint. And that's how you beat them. And I think Brooklyn's got all the horses here. I'm assuming this line's going to come out based on teamrankings.com. And for those of you watching this video, if you want to get informed about the NBA, go to teamrankings.com. It's a great website. They have power ratings. They have all the stats you need to help you make better decisions, and it's free for the most part. But nonetheless, they have them anywhere from 6 to 7 points here. If Brooklyn's laying 8 or less here, Sean, that is a take in my book.
Yeah, Tony, I'm with you. And I'm going to tell you what Steve Nash did, because he knows, because he had him when he was playing as well, is to bring Mike D'Antoni to the staff. And I'm going to tell you why. D'Antoni's offense, right? Steve Nash is a point guard and a 2-time MVP, and the question's coming in, well, he's never been a head coach at any level, right? What's he do? He gets a guy who's brilliant on the offensive end. And what has been the saying when we say, well, Lakers or Clippers or Milwaukee in the Eastern Conference or Denver, all these teams, we say, well, Brooklyn, now they got James Harden. And I was here being in Houston, all that talk before Harden was moved, right? What's going to happen? Can those three guys? I always laugh when people say, well, there's not enough basketballs to go around. Don't tell Golden State that when they were winning championships and want to get Clay back on. Don't tell that to, not enough basketballs. There's plenty of them. There's plenty to go around. If three dudes want to average when KD's out there, if you want to get three dudes at 22 and above and 30 and 29, and each guy one night becomes a star, Kyrie a week ago hits 40. James will go give you a triple-double. KD's the best on the team when he's out there and a great perimeter defender as well, and with his length. So, but Steve Nash has been able to take, because the one thing we've all said, Tony, if they're going to win an NBA title, those defensive trends you pointed out numbers-wise have to continue. I know we're a long way from NBA title, but we start right now is about the time we can kind of look and say this is their identity and who they are. Now, if their identity becomes, we know they're offensively talented, but they are playing better defense, look out the whole way with Brooklyn, because they are loaded on the offensive end. And you mentioned even when Dinwiddie's not there, right? And this team, and they're capable of having three different guys on three different nights take over. You say, okay, how many guys will they play in their rotation? Well, if they're healthy, those guys are plenty good. I am with you. This game comes in at the number you're talking about. I just don't see how Dallas can stop them on the offensive end and how they're going to get enough looks to keep up on the – and Doncic would have to, again, you start to get like quarterbacks and stuff in this where you got to – if this guy doesn't play out of his mind, they've got no shot. And Rick Carlisle knows defense in Dallas because, well, that's always been his MO. The problem is – that offense is better than their defense in Brooklyn. I'm with you. Even though they're coming off the loss to Philly, this playing Brooklyn can make you very weary, brother. Very weary because they can have you to the point where you're so worried about your defense trying to stop their 120-plus a game that you forget, oh, that's right, we still got to score on offense. I love their focus recently on defense. You got to like Brooklyn. Now, if that starts to creep up, I understand, I'm getting backdoored with a late jumper and you lose the points. I like Brooklyn in the matchup. I like their trends, their winning streak, and unselfish is becoming part of their MO there, which is none of us would have thought that going in, right? But it looks like they've got them doing the right thing. I'm with you. I'd be hard-pressed with the spread you're talking about. If it comes in at that number, I'd be hard-pressed not to take Brooklyn. Playing too good on the defensive end. I already know they're going to score points on the offensive end.
Yeah, a couple things about this game. If you look at, there's 3 points in this game I think that are crucial. Number one is right now you have a race in the East between Philadelphia and Brooklyn because Milwaukee is out of the narrative. Milwaukee won last night by 2 points. They shouldn't even won. Milwaukee's still not playing their best basketball. But Steve Nash says, look, this is a barometer. The team that's equal to us in the East just waxed them last night by 14. Let's see what we can do. Let's make a statement. Let's send a message to Philadelphia by beating these guys by double digits. Second of all, when they tried to collapse in on Embiid last night, or one key player, they left Harris and Green wide open for Philadelphia, and they were knocking down threes like, nobody's business, And on the other side of the coin, when pressure, Dallas couldn't hit a bull in the ass with a handful of rocks. When you could hold Doncic to 19 points, which is about 11 under his average, and I think that Brooklyn will use the same methodology that what Philadelphia did in order to hold them down. Now, if this thing gets a little point crazy, say this creeps up to 8.5, 9, then play the first half line and cut it in half. Take Brooklyn on the first half -4, 4.5, because Brooklyn's going to go into this game with an 8 to 10 point lead at halftime. And by the way, Dallas has played, I don't know how many games in the last 11 days. Seven games, I think. So they're coming in here dead tired, on the road, off a tough loss. I'd look to the first half line with Brooklyn for sure. Maybe Dallas hangs around later in the game and gets a backdoor cover if the number's real high. But this should be a double-digit win easily by Brooklyn if they bring their A game here, Sean.
Yep, I'm taking, like I said, if that spread's in the single digits, I got Brooklyn because they should win by more than 10 double digits. If it starts to creep higher than that, then I would probably take, just because of the ability that you got to lead and all of a sudden at the end of the game somebody hits 2 cheapies at the end and you blow it. Brooklyn's winning the game, but we're talking about gambling and point spreads. I just don't see whether with the roster and their ability to score and their defensive output and the difference between what they're giving up and what they're scoring. Listen, they're going to score $115 when they're just kind of yawning there. I mean, that's how good they are offensively. Yeah. And so, and they're playing better defense than that now. And it's a weary road team. They are. Dallas is. and they have not lived up, not only in the recently, but this year. I expected more from this team at this point. I did. And the Porzingis, when he's not out there, they're just different. And who's protecting the rim? And you're relying on one guy way too much when you can distribute the wealth with Brooklyn. Brooklyn wins this, and we win this bet. Yes.
Yeah, I think this is a game. If now, folks, these videos are out on Friday before the lines, but I can tell you this: if this opens up around 6.5, bet it right out of the gate, because that number is not going to stick around more than an hour. Because every sharp in town is going to be on this. I can easily see against a tired Dallas team, easily see, Sean, Brooklyn putting up 130, 135 in this ball game. They really, if they want to turn it on.
Yep. Could be a boat race, Tony. And if they don't forget how to play defense, if they don't know how to play the defense, they could be emptying the bench late in the middle of the fourth quarter. Keep an eye on. This could turn into one of those boat races if, in fact, they're defending and they jump out and they're shooting, doing what they do. It could be a very, very. But if you give me 5.5 or 6 points, if that's all I'm getting is a Dallas Mavericks, Brooklyn's gonna. They will. That'll be a woodshed. There's no question. If it's that, I'll take that all day. Creeps up to 11 points or something, then like you said, you better jump on this one early because it ain't staying at 6 or 6.5 points. I wouldn't think up until game time.
It's not going to stay at the opening number no matter what it is. They're going to get hit anyway. It opens up 7.5, 8. They're going to get hit. So be sure and get on this one early, folks. And be sure and get on your little mouse and go to the link in the description below. Click on the link, get a free $60 from Docs and get yourself hooked up. Daily packages are $30. We got 12 handicappers over there and a crap load of free stuff over there at the website to help you make better decisions. And, we got Sean Salisbury on video every week too. So a damn sight more than anybody else out there. Sean, thanks for jumping on this week. You are currently, I believe, 8-3 or 9-3 with your picks. So you're on your way. You're on your way to being a professional handicapper. So we appreciate
that to you. I'm gonna give you slight insight. I'll take the 9-3. You're the expert here. I like to think I have a little bit of a clue. I'll take the win streak or I'm getting to the playoffs with 9-3. Let's put it that way. I got a good start, but I'll leave it to you. And I'm always willing to pay that stake up after Iowa decided to urinate down their leg against Michigan. So we'll see. I'll look forward to that, my brother.
Well, your significant other is Vegas born, and I know you make some trips out here. You have family out here, so trust me, I'm going to hold you to it. I'll be at the airport to pick you up for that one. I'll tell you that right now, buddy.
And it better be a damn limo with all that money you make, my man.
Hey, man, no problem. I'll get that. Thanks for tuning in.
There you go.
Back at you next Tuesday with more free picks with Sean Salisbury, and be sure and catch Sean over at is it iHeartRadio? What is that?
iHeartRadio app or Sports Talk 790 6 to 10 a.m. Monday through Friday.
There you go, folks. Thanks for tuning in. Best of luck this weekend.